Yeah. Brothers, mashallah, we've been praying Labbaik now every day. Those brothers who's been before for Umrah, not those, but those who are new brothers, who's going to stand up and recite the Labbaik? So we know that you are actually memorizing the Labbaik. Come on, who's going to be the brave one? We need a few volunteers. That's what Mawlana Rashid does every year after 2-3 days. No volunteers? Yeah, go on. It's up to you. Yes, brother. Go on.
لبيك اللهم لبيك لبيك لا شريك لك إن الحمد والنعمة والملك لا شريك لك.
Does everybody know the Labbaik, or do I need to pray? Please tell me, put your hands up if you want. I mean, I'll pray it and you can repeat it after me. Unless you memorize it yourself, it's okay. Go for it. Brothers and sisters, please memorize the Labbaik, because Labbaik, if you don't pray a Labbaik, then you are not in your ihram for Umrah or for your Hajj. Okay? Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Labbaik Allah, Labbaik,
لبيك اللهم لبيك
Labbaik la sharika lak, Labbaik,
لبيك لا شريك لك لبيك إن الحمد والنعمة
lak wal mulk
لك والملك
la sharika lak.
لا شريك لك.
Labbaik Allahumma labbaik,
لبيك اللهم لبيك
Labbaik la sharika lak, Labbaik,
لبيك لا شريك لك
innal hamda
إن الحمد
wan ni'mata
والنعمة
lak wal mulk
لك والملك
la sharika lak.
لا شريك لك.
Labbaik Allahumma labbaik,
لبيك اللهم لبيك
la sharika lak, Labbaik,
لبيك لا شريك لك لبيك
innal hamda
إن الحمد
wan ni'mata
والنعمة
lak wal mulk
لك والملك
la sharika lak.
لا شريك لك.
Those brothers who's not got the Labbaik and they don't know, we've got some here translated in English as well. What is the meaning of Labbaik? They can pick one up from here. Salatul Salam and Tasbih and everything we have here, so you can pick it up.
Okay, perfect. You just show me your this was after me because then what I'll do is I could just rely and I don't have to talk because I'll talk to you the camera and I'll record.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله الذي هدانا لهذا وما كنا لنهتدي لولا أن هدانا الله. رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقهوا قولي. رب زدني علما. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. So everybody is quite clear on the first day of Hajj, right? 8th of Dhul-Hijjah, in Mina. Station to rest, relax, do ibadat, make the most of it, charge the batteries. The next day, inshallah, which will be the day of Arafat. We've been through that in depth yesterday, alhamdulillah. Any questions regarding any logistical or fiqh questions or anything that's you're not too sure about for the first 2 days of Hajj, or are you all quite clear on that, inshallah? Yeah? Feel free to stick your hand up if you need to ask any questions. So the third day of Hajj, the 10th of Dhul-Hijjah. So we'll just take a step back from the day before. So you will have spent the night in Muzdalifah. Yes, so the day of Arafat and the night of Muzdalifah after that. So you will have spent the night in Muzdalifah. You would have prayed your Maghrib and Isha together, as we discussed yesterday. One Adhan, one Iqamah, Maghrib, Isha, Sunnat of Isha, Maghrib, and Sunnat of Isha, and Witr if you want to pray with Isha, if you want to pray with Tahajjud later on, whichever way you're inclined. You're more than welcome to do that. After that, obviously, you'll be collecting your stones. Minimum is 49, maximum is 70, because if you want to stay an extra day, does that make sense? So stones for the first day, which are just 7, and then 21, 21, and then 21 extra if you need to, if you want to, if you're intending on staying the extra day on the 6th on the 6th day of Hajj, inshallah. So that's all. Everybody's clear on that, isn't it? So once you have spent the day, you spend the night in Muzdalifah, you've got the wukuf of Muzdalifah, which is the most important part of that stay as well. Wukuf again is a stay. The wukuf of Muzdalifah starts at Subha Sadiq, okay, and it finishes just a few moments before sunrise. So anytime between Subha Sadiq and a few moments before sunrise, you need to make sure you are in Muzdalifah. You cannot leave Muzdalifah before then, okay? In that time, you could do your adhkar, ibadat, zikr, tilawat. Remember, the night before is the night of Eid, so it's very important to engage yourself in ibadat again. You can get some rest as well. And depending on what time your coaches get you there, you could be getting there as early as 11, 12 o'clock. You can get there as late as 2, 3 in the morning as well. Everybody will be different depending on when the coaches arrive, depending on how things are moving with regards to your transport and your logistics for that evening. Does that make sense? Every group will be different. Every individual within that group will be different. For example, if you've got a group of 140 people, then that's going to be 3 coaches. That's 3 coaches. One coach might leave at 7 o'clock. Another coach might leave at 9 o'clock. It will all vary depending on the availability of coaches. The point you need to remember is just be calm, relax, have something to eat, rest. If you need to go use the bathroom, you need to have a shower, anything, just use all the facilities that you'll have in Arafat, because after that, it will get a little bit more challenging with regards to facilities, especially in Muzdalifah, just as what Mawlana said yesterday. When you arrive in Muzdalifah, we've discussed what you're going to be doing there. We've discussed the wukuf of Muzdalifah as well. And then that's the 10th of Dhul-Hijjah. And that's where things get a little bit more, high-paced, very fast-paced after this, because some individuals, or most people, will just walk it. Most people will just walk it from Muzdalifah back to Mina, because it's only 1.5 miles. It's very, very short distance. Being in the Muaisin camp, being in the camp that most of you are going to be in, the distance from where we stay in the European camp in Muzdalifah to the camp in Muaisim in Mina is only 1.5 miles, and you'll be leaving in the morning, so it's much cooler. And you might not want to wait for the coach until, say, 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock. So he said, you know what, I'm just going to walk it. More or less everybody walks it anyway. It's a very easy walk. There's no incline, and the roads are very, very clean, and there's no rubble, there's no chance of tripping up and getting injured and that sort of thing. And everybody will be going in one direction. A lot of your group will be going in that direction, and a lot of your guides will be going in that direction. Those who are in wheelchairs or those who are less mobile, you could just jump on the coach. Nothing wrong with that at all. If you take a wheelchair, somebody could push your wheelchair as well. So a lot of you have been asking questions regarding mobility and how you've been around. Very, very straightforward. There'll be plenty of brothers there pushing the wheelchair, so no issues there at all. So when you arrive in Mina on the 10th of Dhul-Hijjah, you will be staying there until your guides advise you. So it's entirely up to you how you wish to go. Some Hujjaj, they generally just make their way straight to Jamarat. If they're going to, a lot of you will be doing that. So they won't be stopping in Mina. They'll just go from Muzdalifah straight to Mina and walk another 2 miles towards Jamarat. Okay? So on this day, on the 10th of Dhul-Hijjah, there'll be a few different things that you'll need to consider. The first thing, you're going to be pelting the Jamarat al-Uqba, the largest Jamarat, which is going to be the furthest away. So that's one of the things you need to do. Now, these are all wajibats for that day. Well, it is wajib, isn't it, in that order?
So I'll do another question. What did you say?
It is. That's wajib. So yeah, you'll be pelting the first Jamarat. So after that, what will you be doing after pelting the Jamarat? What's going to happen after you pelted the Jamarat? That's it, mashallah. Qurbani, animal sacrifice, okay? And shukr. So that point, when you've pelted the Jamarat, you'll be informed, or you'll be asked whether your Jamrats, when you've been pelted, and you'll be then informing the individuals who are responsible for your Qurbani that you've done the pelting, okay? At that point, your Qurbani will be done. You'll be informed. Once the Qurbani has been done, you will then be doing your halak, so shaving your hair. Okay, so at that point, your ihram will be complete, and you'll be coming out of ihram because you've done your halak, just as you were doing umrah. The only restriction that'll apply to you at that point is marital relationships, which you all understand. That can stay until after Tawaf and Ziyarah we should be doing. So these three acts of pelting, sacrificing the animal, and halak has to be done in order. It has to follow that order. It's very, very important that you don't go have your hair shaved and go pelt the jamarat and then go do the halak. It cannot go in that order. It has to stick in that order. Okay. So, logistics here now. A lot of you have already had your Qurbanis arranged by ourselves. Am I right? Who's had the Qurbani done by the Falah group or Mawlana or Mufti Usama? Anybody in this group? Yeah, Masla, there's quite a few of you. If those of you who have not had your Qurbanis arranged yet and would like to do that, just come and speak to us and we'll direct you. Those of you who would like the Qurbani being done by your groups, you can also do that as well. So those who are with MCDC, speak to your guys and they'll arrange it for you. Those who are with Al-Raji, Duyuful Bayt, within Duyuful Bayt, the different packages. For example, Muhammad Bay with Flight Express, Altaf Bay with Altaf Arif Tours. It's entirely up to you. The reason we advise sticking to a reliable and a trusted individual is just that you could ensure the Qurbani is done on time and in the correct way on the correct animal as well. That's very, very important to make sure the animal is of age and eligibility for Qurbani. These things are very, very important for you to be able to maintain the order of the tartib of the Qurbani and tartib of the rights of the 10th of Dhul-Hijjah. Very, very important. Now, I'll take a step back as well again. What's going to happen to those individuals who can't walk all the way to Mina and to Jamarat? You will be coming on your coaches. The coaches will then arrive at your camp in Mina, where you were on the 8th of Dhul-Hijjah, and then you'll just wait for your guides until they tell you when it's the right time for you to go and go to Jamarat. Now, you might read a lot of kitabs, you might read a lot of books where they'll tell you, oh, don't rush towards Jamarat, there'll be a mad rush, there'll be hectic, like that anymore. So it's very, very tactical, very strategic in the way the roads and the paths are laid out. If you're in Waisim, you'll only end up on a certain level. If you're in the African camps, you'll only be ending up on a certain level. And if you're in the American camps, you will be on a certain level. Don't worry too much about the slides because I'm jumping around between the different aspects of that day. But you will be able to go at any time from sunrise to Zawal and then Zawal to sunset to help your Jamarat on that day without any difficulty. Now, at that point, a lot of the groups will start to break up as well. Because a lot of Hujjaj might think, I don't want to stay in Mina, I'd like to go back to my accommodation in Azizia. A lot of you might think, I don't want to stay in Mina, I want to go back to my hotel in Makkah. So non-shifting Hujjaj will be making their way back to Makkah. Okay? The shifting Hujjaj, the ones that are in Azizia, will be moving back to Azizia, just to freshen up. For example, if you've had your Qurbani has been done now, and then you've had your halak done, and you might want to get showered and changed and get into your normal clothes at this point. So you might go back to your accommodation. It's entirely up to you how you do this. One thing you have to bear in mind, there will be no coaches now, and there will be no mode of transport other than taxis and walking. Taxis are going to be very expensive and very, very scarce on that day as well. Not many taxis available at all. It'll be absolutely hectic on that day. One, you'll be extremely tired. You'll be very, very tired, and there's going to be quite a lot of walking involved as well. So these are the things you want to start thinking about right now, how you are going to plan that day. Are you going to come to Mina, stop there and just rest and take your time and then go to Jamarat when you feel fresh and when you feel you can have breakfast in Mina as well and then move along? All these will be options for you. But one thing you have to bear in mind, you make a plan and you decide how you want to go about doing that, simply because everybody will be doing their own thing from this day onwards. So for the 10th, 11th, and the 12th Dhul-Hijjah, everybody will be carrying out and performing the different tasks in whichever way which is logistically possible for them and convenient for them. So please do bear this in mind when you're doing that. Does everybody understand where we're up to right now? Does everybody understand what I've said so far as well? And does anybody have any questions so far? Anything? So put, or you walk. Walking, it's going 1.5 miles, plus another 2 miles. Okay? And then if you're going to go back to Makkah, it's another 5 miles. Okay? So you've already walked that much. Now, when you've done that part, you've come out around, the next part you've got to consider is what? Tawaf ibadah, tawaf ziyarah. Okay? Now I'm going to take one step back again. Those of you who made the niyyat of Quran, those of you who made niyyat for Quran, you have the option of performing tawaf qudum and do the sa'i of Hajj. Is anybody aware of this? Anybody read about this so far? No? No? Does anybody understand tawaf qudum? Okay, so let's talk about that because I don't think we've covered that so far. So anything that we say at the moment that doesn't make any sense, write it down and just come and ask us. Because it can get a bit tricky and you might get a bit confused as well, especially when you're tired and in the heat and everybody's moving in all sorts of directions. Because up to now, all of you have been together on your coaches in Mina. All of you have been together on your coaches in Arafat. But now you've come back to Mina, everybody will be scurrying all over the place and carried out different arkan for that day at their own accord. So I'm going to take a few steps back. Now, when you came to Makkah before Hajj, you either did tamattu, okay? Then that's fine. If you did Qiran, then you must have read in the kitabs that you can perform the sa'i of Hajj, before Tawaf Ziyarat, or before Hajj. That's possible. A lot of Hujjaj do that. So we've done it with our Ifrad and we've done it with our Qiran as well. So how does that work? Once you've performed your Umrah, okay, you will then perform another Tawaf, okay? That's known as Tawaf Qudum. Sa'i cannot happen on its own. It has to be accompanied with a Tawaf, okay? So you perform your Tawaf and then you perform another Sa'i. So effectively, it's like doing 2 Umrahs together. So the Tawaf of Umrah and the Sa'i of Umrah, and then the Tawaf Qudum and the Sa'i of Hajj. Does that make sense? Okay, so let's go back forward again. So you've done your halak, you've come back into your normal clothes and you feel fresh. Do you know what? I want to get my Tawaf Ziyarah done today. So you will be making your way towards Haram and you will be doing your Tawaf Ziyarah. Okay? If you haven't done if you've not done the Sa'i beforehand, then you will be doing Sa'i with the Tawaf Ziyarat on that day. Does that make sense? Any questions so far? Okay. Now, you do not have to perform Tawaf Ziyarat on that day if you do not want to. Simply because you might be very tired and you might be worried about getting back to Mina for the night. You will come back the next day. I speak in that way because we've done it all. We've done it on the day, we've done it on the second day, and circumstances permitting, sometimes we've done it on the third day as well. So it doesn't really matter. Don't worry about what everybody else is doing. Everybody will be doing different things. Those who are not well will postpone it until, say, for example, Fajr, or they might postpone it until Tahajjud, or times when it's a little bit calmer. Others might just want to get it done, and they want to get it done pretty much straight away. So do make these considerations as well, because remember, the transport between Makkah and Mina will be very restricted, and Mufti Saab will tell you the kind of instances we've had where we were standing for 4 or 5 hours looking for coaches and looking for transport people back to Mina for that night. So these things are very, very important. Okay, so I've just generally given you a general snapshot of what will happen on the 10th of Dhul-Hijjah up till now. One thing I've not spoken about is the tartib and the manner in which you'll be pelting the Jamarat. And I think I should leave that for Fazl what to do with you as well. So you'll be pelting the large Jamarat, which is the one furthest away from Masjid, or the one closest to Haram. So, yeah, not spoken about. Should I just point out a few things? Yeah, of course. Please, yeah.
Assalamu alaikum, brothers, those who came late. First of all, uh, our program starts, our Hajj starts from the month of Dhul-Hijjah, which is the 8th, 9th, 10th, 11th, and 12th. And anybody who wants to tell the Satan on the 13th, they can do so. Now, you've got to remember a couple of things here. One is you have to do one Qurbani for your Hajj. The other Qurbani that we do here every year, you have to do that as well. For all the Hajis who will be doing the Qurbani, and it has to be within the boundary of Mina and Makkah, not outside Mina and Makkah, because some of the people will tell you, that you can do it somewhere, they will go to Jeddah or somewhere else. But no, it has to be done in the boundary of Makkah and Mina. Remember this. And another Qurbani that we do here every year, that is for us on us as well. So you have to do the Qurbani, what you do every year. Those ladies who are going in Hajj with you or whoever reaches the age of puberty, it is for us on them as well. That's one. Second thing is that remember that on the first day, the timing, on the first day, we will only pelt the big Zamara. Only one. Second and third day, we will pelt all the three Satan. Now, on the first day, remember this is very, very, because a lot of people have made mistakes in front of us there. On the first day, pelting the Satan, the time starts from sunrise. The time starts from sunrise. The second, third, and the fourth day, which is the 13th, it starts after Zawwal, which is just when the Johor Awwal time starts. Does everybody understand, or am I going too fast? Yeah? Okay. Now, Alhamdulillah, Brother Sohail has already explained to us. Remember this, there are two for us, three for us for Hajj. One is to come in the ihram, right? Put your ihram on, that do your niyyat for Hajj, and then also pray your labbaik. Three put together is one for us. The second one is wukuf Arafat, means to stop at Arafat. If somebody has even stopped for 10, 20 seconds, their faraz will be counted. And you will see loads of ambulances and helicopters going through, because those brothers or sisters who are very serious in hospital come for Hajj. The Saudi government will actually fly them over the Medan of Arafat. And the third one is Tawaf and Hajj, which is very important. Until both Mr. and Mrs. have done their Tawaf and Hajj, husband and wife marital status, as Brother Swell mentioned, is absolutely haram. And if you come back here and you've started your marital relationship, you will still have to go back to your Tawaf and Hajj and pay all the penalties what you have made sins about. Okay. Now, there are 6 wajibats. How many? 6. Again, Brother Swell's already explained to you, it has to be done in order systematically. Okay. The first of all is very easy. You'll be going to Muzdalifah. Then on the second day, when you come back after Muzdalifah, you come back to Mina. So on the first day, you have to pelt the Satan. Now the Satan time starts from the Ishraq time until the next Subh Sadiq, morning of next day. But you can pelt during the day, it's up to you. Now, for those disabled people or people sometimes may actually, oh, I can't go. Can you do it for me? It's not permissible. Mufti Saab said that anybody who can go to toilet themselves and they don't need any help to go in the toilet, they have to pelt the Satan themselves. So, as brother said, take somebody with you with a wheelchair and let them do the pelting. Then, after you've done the Satan, right, then you can do the Qurbani. After Qurbani, you can do your Halak. And then, when you've done your Tawaf Jarat, the comes is Safa Marwa Sa'i. That's the Wajibat. And the last one, for men, you have to do Tawaf Vida, which is Wajib. So all these 6 are Wajib. It's already in the Kitab, you can actually read it as well. So these are the 6 Wajibat, which has to be done systematically, which is very, very easy, brothers. Okay. Now, Alhamdulillah, from here on the first day, you'll be in your ihram. Before you guys came, already mentioned some of the brothers that put some sort of a sign on your umbrella, like ribbons, or some people you'll see with a torch light with red and green lights, so flashing, or you might have a coke tin on a stick, and they'll be following their group and they're going pelting the Satan and they're walking in. Yeah, normally I carry an umbrella, I take what do you call it, needle and some thread, and then I actually sew it 2-3 days before we go to Mina. Yeah, so you can take it. Now, you'll be in your ihram. Now, the wall, slice karim setani. What? Who is? Setani slice karim.
What is like the Malita? One second.
Yeah.
These.
Just one, anyone with a boundary wall on it. Yeah. Now, can you see the people here? Yeah. You can see the people on this wall where they're actually pelting the setan. Now, you don't need to throw the stone right at the pillar. Yeah. As long as it falls within the boundary of the wall on the inside, your stone is counted. Alhamdulillah, brother Sohail has already mentioned that pick up 70 stones. There's a reason behind it. It's happened to me. What you do in a bag, you carry 70. But when you go in pelting the setan, you count 10 stones in your hands. The reason is if somebody pushes you and it falls and you've got a few left, so you know how many you've got in your hand. Okay? Or when you even pelting the setan, somebody else at the same time, right? Just nudges your hand and it's fallen down. So don't pick it up from there. You've still got your 9 with you. So when you're doing it, you expose your underarm and then you make niyat, Ya Allah, मैं उर्दू में बोलता हूँ, या अल्लाह मैं तुझे खुश करने के लिए और शैतान को जलील करने के लिए काम करता हूँ, मेरे लिए आसान फरमा, कबूल फरमा. And then every stone you hit, Bismillahi Allah Akbar. And make sure it just fall inside the wall inside. Doesn't have to hit it, or if you want to hit it, I've done it many times, right near the wall, standing up in there with my ladies as well. Alhamdulillah. Those brothers who's got their ladies with them, let's say there's about 8 to 10 of you. What you do, you take your own ladies with you, ask the other people to wait with their ladies with the umbrella. You go and pelt the setan with your ladies, and then you go back to them and then send them back. So you're not losing each other. Okay? So first day, you'll be coming from this side, you go past the small setan, you go past the medium setan, and then you go and pelt the big setan. Bismillahi Allahu Akbar. Bismillahi Allahu Akbar. Like that. And you got your 10, so you know you stop at 7. If somebody pushes you and he drops, don't count him. Yeah? Bismillahi Allahu Akbar. What happens? The angels, फरिश्ते शैतान को वहां पकड़ के रखते हैं, वो बहुत चिल्लाता है. Every stone you hit, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala forgive a big sin. बाबा से नहीं मौलाना, मोटो गुना माफ करेगी. हाँ, yeah. Okay, so yeah, सही है ना मुफ्ती साहब. कबीरा गुना माफ होता है ना शैतान को प्यार करने से.
Kabira Guna.
So you plant the 7 stones like this on the first day, and then on the second and third day you do the same with the small one, medium one. But after the small one you can make dua. After the second one you can make dua, and then after the third one you don't make dua. Now remember, first day from Ishraq to next day Subha Sadiq, depending on what time you want to go. Second and third day and the fourth day, if you want to do it, is after Jawwal. ठीक है भाई. सोहेल मोड़ा तो मैं हाउस का हूँ करूँ. Saab, you want to say something? You want me to carry on or what? Okay. Now, Alhamdulillah, as Brother Sohail mentioned, you would have organized your Qurbani. Okay. When you pelted the setan, you can phone as soon as you say, brother, I've done my Qurbani. I've done my setan, pelting the setan. Can you please do my Qurbani? So by the time you walk back, confirm with them they've done it or not. Yeah. Because we were sent to do Qurbani for the entire group. And from Zohar time, we were waiting until Maghrib time because we went to the farm in Makkah, and that's how they organized. They sent 4 or 5 of us. And it took us a long, long time because there was a big queue for with the other groups as well. So until it's confirmed that yes, your Qurbani is done, you don't do your halal, please. Remember this.
So Qurbani again is very, very important because just like you're waiting for your visas and waiting for your coaches and waiting for your verifications, when is my Qurbani going to happen? When is my Qurbani going to happen? When is my Qurbani going to happen? I want to come out my ihram. We get it all the time. You will have to be patient because there'll be thousands and thousands of Qurbanis taking place. The farm that we're using is the farm we used last year. And alhamdulillah, we did 750 Qurbanis last year. 750. Normally we I go with a few brothers and we do it ourselves. But last year it was so hot and it was so hectic, I couldn't even get it to my phone to message Mawlana to communicate with him that we're on our way. So I instructed him to just start. So he started at 7 o'clock in the morning, and we were done, alhamdulillah, by around Maghrib time on that day. So between 7 in the morning, between 7 in the morning and Maghrib, all our Qurbanis were all 750. So they'll be doing it in batches. So as soon as Mawlana will give it, I mean, those of you who have booked it with Mufti Usama, our friend in Makkah, he'll give you strict instructions. He's going to group you into little groups. You're in this group, you're in this group. And then soon as you've done your pelting, all you'll do is message on that group. And one of the brothers will pick up your message and then they'll do your Qurbani and they'll inform you straight away. It'll be done within 5 or 10 minutes, inshallah, from the point that you inform them. But sometimes if they're very, very busy, it might just get delayed. But they're very efficient. They'll have about 15 brothers in smaller groups breaking it all down and we'll be doing it in for you. Everybody will be different. Now, some groups might go to the Moisim. Moisim is actually the area. Moisim, it's a slaughterhouse. That's why they call it Moisim, because we're in that area. Now there they have a token system where they'll give you a token and they'll give you a time to go and do that. And it's very busy. It's very hectic. So a lot of the, so if, for example, our Hanafi sort of alims will actually go to the smaller, the Rohingyan or the Burmese brothers. There's a massive Burmese community in Makkah. So they'll be going there and getting it done with them within their homes and within their small farms. But if a lot of the Salaf groups, they might actually go and use the Moisim system, in which case a token system, and that'll get delayed. So you want to be very, very mindful how you go about through the Qurbani. You might just say, I'm going to get my group to do it or my guide to do it. Ask him what the process is, what the procedure is, and at what point will it be done. Because he might tell you a certain time, and you might be waiting until the evening, and you might have planned to get your tawaf done on that day as well. So these little things are very, very important to have a idea in mind that I'm going to do it this way. So again, I don't know if have you put the poster on there at all?
Yes.
Mawlana Sama's poster. If anybody's still in two minds and not done the Qurbani yet or not chosen Qurbani, would like to do it, there's Mawlana's number on there as well. We've seen the animals. We make sure the animals are fed regularly, and we check very, very frequently as well to make sure the animals are in healthy and good condition for when the Qurbani is ready. Now, a little bit of a joke actually on what Fazulma said as well. Last year, after we done the halak and before Tawaf Ziyar, we had a phone call from a brother. Oh, Soil bhai, can you help me on my dom? I said, why? What's the matter? I need to go and get a camel. I said, why? I said, no, please, I need to get a camel. Why? Why do you want a camel? I said, because I've not checked the rules and such a things happen, so I need to have a camel. And I said, you're not going to need one camel, maybe it takes two, so you're going to need 2 camels. So we had 10 camels to slaughter last year. So please read your kitabs and consider your rules. It's very, very important.
How much it costs for a camel?
It's the price level, £600, so it's going to cost £1,200 per person. We spent £8,000 on camels last year because you didn't listen to us. So please bear in mind. And we'll laugh about it with you as well at the time, and we'll show you up as well.
I get 3 things. Let's do that last point first. The ulama actually write. That person was fortunate that he could get away with the camel, because there's a certain point in Hajj that it would actually break your Hajj. So the ulama actually write, hopefully there's not many ladies listening, but tell even if they are, they actually go into the books about why is it such a severe sin, okay, that if you get involved in that mistake, that your Hajj actually get cancelled. And again, subhanAllah, what they say is that for a man, technically, I don't know about women, perhaps a woman, it's the ultimate pleasure. Yes, correct? The ultimate pleasure. All the young guys are saying yes. So they say that, how is it that you have made a journey with this intention that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is your ultimate beloved? Yes, is your ultimate beloved, but yet you couldn't contain your desires enough on another beloved. And that's why they say the penalty is so severe. 1 point. Second point, which When's my Qurbani getting done? When my Qurbani? I was going to say it at the beginning, but I didn't have a chance. I'll say it now. You know, sometimes we're in state of ihram. You know, we feel as though we got to do something, we've got to read something, we've got to make dua. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that's generally the incentive that we have. But there's a hadith in Tirmizi Sharif which you'll find useful because it will give you enough motivation to wait that little bit longer if it happens. Imam Tirmizi, he reports from Nabi Kareem sallallahu alaihi wasallam ke ma min mu'minin, that there's no mu'min, there's no Musliman, yeah, yudilla yawmahu muhriman, except that he spends just one day in ihram. Okay, he does nothing, all he does is stays in his ihram, illa ghabat ash-shamsu bidanubi, except the sun sets, taking all his sins with him. You know, so that, you know, fazilat, just for staying in the state of ihram, forget about all the du'as, but I said, don't forget, obviously, I'm saying, even if you don't get to do as much ibadat. And one final thing, what was I about to say? Yes, hair chopping. What's the wisdom in cutting your hair? I mean, obviously, we do it because we have to get out of ihram. But what's the wisdom? Oh, you had was it a niece?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so what happens when a newborn baby on the 7th day? Kika, what do you do before the Kika? Chop the hair, yeah, okay. According to some madahib, thankfully, when I say we don't really enforce this, but some narrations suggest that when somebody takes the shahada, comes into Islam, then he also should cut his hair. Okay, so the newborn baby is reborn. Okay, yes, the new Muslim is reborn. You cut your hair in Hajj, you come to ihram, you are also reborn. So that's one of the wisdoms, aside from the fact that it gives you, you know, cleanliness after being knocked around the sands for 2-3 weeks or whatever it is. I think that's everything. 3 points. Back to you guys. 5 minutes to
When are you coming over?
Okay. Is everybody understanding this 10th of Dhul-Hijjah is quite tricky and complicated? You have to ask questions, but you have to understand to be able to do the day in the way it needs to be performed. Because everybody will be on their own. You'll be with your little families. You'll be as couples. Everybody will be doing their own thing. I'm telling you, it'll be very hot that day. It'll be very tiring. You'll be absolutely exhausted. There'll be very few taxis around. Well, there'll be a lot of taxis around, but it'll be very difficult to get your hands on, and they'll be charged. It's like Christmas Day, basically. It's their time to earn some money. And they will be charging, just to get to Haram, they'll be charging up to £50 one way and £100 return. Pounds, that is. So they'll do anything to make a little bit of money because they've got everybody in one spot. So it's very important that you plan that point and you know what you're doing, because what the last thing you want, because of the nafsi, and because of the hectic nature of the day and the tiredness, and as weak as we are, you'll just end up going back to your hotel and going to sleep, and you'll have just lost your day, your evening and the night in Mina. This is what you've prepared for. This is what you've paid for, and this is what you made the effort for, to spend the nights in Masai. You know, so the manasik that are appointed to those acts and the things that we're going to do, you've got to make sure that you plan beforehand, so you know that you don't end up in your hotel sleeping in a cozy bed, and then you make your way back to Mina if you need to. I know it's preferable to do the Tawaf Ziyarat on that day, get it done, but if you can't, then no problem. Go back to Mina and come back the next day. Because the Mama will tell you, because there's different techniques that you can use, like pelting and going your way to Makkah and pelting on the way back. We'll talk about that in a little bit more detail. But do have these things in mind and do plan it beforehand, inshallah. At least if you've not really read the kitabs much at the moment, but this gives you an introduction as to how it will be. And if you have any questions, just fire away in the group, inshallah. We'll be happy to help.
Very, very quickly, I'm just going to go through a few tips and what's going to make it easier for you in Mina as well. But this is very, very important, brothers. Coming from Arafat in the evening, okay, there'll be loads of bottles knocking about. So fill 2 bottles per person with the tops on, fill it up at Arafat. And then you relieve yourself in Arafat, make your wuzu in Arafat, you've gone into Muzdalifah. If you've broken your wuzu, then there'll be loads and loads of queues in the toilets in Muzdalifah. You've already got your 2 bottles each for ladies and gents. You actually do your wudu there on the floor, yeah, because it's concrete floor. Do your wudu, pray your Maghrib and Isha, and then you're done. And then when you're free after 1 or 2 hours, inshallah, all the queues will come down. You go and fill the 2 bottles back again for Fajr. Yeah. So that make it a lot easier for you. So, and only eat 50% in Arafat. Okay. They will give you some snacks in Muzdalifah as well, your good people. From Muzdalifah, obviously, we've gone first day to Mina to pelt the setan. Now, we were taught by Hazrat Abdul Rashid Asmari Saab, and Alhamdulillah, I've done that quite a few times, and it's made life a lot easier with aram, ibadat, and also very, very easy as well. So from pelting the setan, come back to Mina. Yeah, come back to Mina. Now, when you're in Mina, either on the first day, second day, or the third day, because you'll be going on the 9th of the 7th and the 8th, wake up 2 hours before Fajr time. So if let's say Fajr is at 4 o'clock, wake up at 2 o'clock. Right? No, but seriously, it'll be very, very easy for you. Because if you wake up at 2 o'clock, you do your wudu, and then pray your tahajjud, pray Yasin Sharif, Tilawat. By that time, inshallah, what will happen is that your Fajr time will start. Now, 5, 6 of you, 10 of you, just do your Fajr Salah and then go to sleep. Now, by that time, half an hour or 1 hour before Fajr time, there'll be loads of queues in the wuzu khana in Mina, especially in the toilets and everywhere. You've already done everything. You've done your ibadat, you've done your tahajjud, and you prayed your Fajr as well. Okay? Go to sleep till 10, 11 o'clock or whatever the time you want. And then from there onwards, that is the first day. The second day, second time, when you come back, when you pelted the setan, you come back to Mina, you have plenty of rest. After Maghrib, go to sleep, wake up at 2 o'clock. Like brother said, 8 of you or 10 of you, go outside, make a group and get a taxi. No taxi. It only be from 7-seaters onward, it be GMCs or minibuses. So 10 of you or 8 of you make a group and go take a GMC and go straight to Makkah. When you get to Makkah, it's Fajr time. So you pray a Fajr either in Haram, and if you don't pray, if you can't make it, obviously until Ishraq time, right? Until sunrise time, you can pray a Fajr, so you can go pray. 5, 10 of you pray your namaz outside in a mataf, wherever, and then go back to your hotel. And then you've already done your Qurbani, you've done everything, have a nice ghusl and go to sleep until Zohar time. Have your food, lunch in the hotels, wherever you are, go to sleep if you want to, or you can go and stay there, right? Now, on the second day when you go to Makkah, as soon as you prayed your Fajr, you started with the second day of Hajj. The pelting of the setan doesn't start until Zawal. So you finish your Tawaf and Hajj because there will be people, there won't be that many people what you see on the first day, or the second day in the evening and the third day in the evening. So after Fajr, you do your Tawaf and Hajj, Safa Marwa Sa'i, finish off, and then you go to your hotel, have a rest, everything, and then you have a rest until Zohar time. After Zohar, if you want to sleep, you sleep until Asr time. Before Asr time, you wake up. You pray your Asr in Haram if you want to, or you start making your way by walking to Jamarat on the second day, right? And then on the second day, you pelt all the 3 satans and go back to Mina to your tent. Okay? Now you have plenty of rest. You just walk in for about 1 hour, 15 minutes, or 1.5 hours, depending on how slow the people are. Then you'll have all night with you to rest in Mina. Again, you wake up at 2:30 in the morning. Same again, you don't go. And then the third day, you wait. A lot of people will start going at Zawal time and they'll go. But we normally wait with my family and everybody about 3 o'clock, 3:30, about half an hour, 1 hour before Asr time. And then by that time, 50%, 70% of the people would have pelted the setan, and you'll be walking very easily. Yeah. I've had friends with me there, and they went, straight after Zawal from Mina, and they had like 2 to 3 hours in Mina, they were stuck. Before you get to Jamarat, they stop people, the army will stop people, and what will happen is that you're walking like this in the heat and everything. Why? There is no need for it. So on the third day, you go as late as possible. You can pray your salah on the way. Wajibat, you got your list there, and you can pray on the way as well. If you want to do wudu, I told you our class is unbreakable glass on the way. And inshallah, before Maghrib, by walking, you'll be in Makkah, Hajj finished. You only got Tawaf and Hajj to do after this for the ladies and gents. If the ladies are in the monthly cycle, it's marked on them if they are coming back before their flight. Okay? And what the men folk, they will have to do the Tawaf and Hajj. That's your Hajj finished. So we can start.
So I'm just going to quickly repeat Muzdalifah. In Muzdalifah, one of the main three things that you've got to do: pray Maghrib and Isha with Jama'at, and then you've got to collect 70 pebbles, have a rest, and then wake up and try and make the most of the night. Pray Tahajjud. You've got to wake up, you've got to pray Tahajjud, and then remember, when you wake up for Tahajjud, queues will be like about 2 to 3 hours. Sometimes it happens you wake up, you want to go Istijah, you just look at the queue and then it just evaporates and vanishes. No, I don't want to go anymore. Yeah? And you're lucky if that happens. If not, you're in trouble. Yeah? And you pray Fajr. Now, what's important to understand is like in Arafat, you did wuku, you stood, you prayed. In Muzdalifah, you have to do wuku. Does anybody know the time of wuku? The time of wuku starts with the time of Fajr, Subh Sadiq, Fajr beginning time till Ishraq. Now, obviously, as Fajr time starts, beginning time of Fajr, Wukuf time starts. If you're there in Muzdalifah at that time, praying Fajr, your Wukuf is done. So basically, you ticked off another box. But Hajj is not about ticking the boxes. It's about thinking out of the box, coming out of your box, and coming close to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Valuable time. After praying Fajr, at the beginning time there, and to stand and to make dua, and to do your wukuf. Those duas that were not accepted in Arafah get accepted in Muzdalifah during the night and during the time of wukuf. And that is one of the most best times in life. Even daily after Fajr, if you try to practice, pray Fajr and stay in the place where you prayed Fajr. 5 minutes, 10 minutes. It is one of the most serene times, and it's the sunnah of the Prophet ﷺ that after Fajr he would remain in his place till sunrise. When the sun is rising, there's a natural, the scenery in itself is amazing, but the effect in itself is also amazing. And sat in the masjid, after praying Fajr Salat, in that time is a blessed time. Similarly, whilst you're in Muzdalifah, that's the time that you want to do wukuf. In Muzdalifah, there is a bit of flexibility for those who are elderly, disabled, etc. After spending half the night, yes, they can go to Makkah if they have a valid reason to do so, or go to Mina, sorry. And you will see many people, and there's a bit more flexibility in some other madhabs. And you will see many people after midnight going towards Mina. Yeah? Do not be deceived by them. Do not let that demotivate you. After Fajr, immediately before Fajr, people will be leaving. Do not be deceived. Do not be demotivated. Yeah? Or rather think, if everybody's going, somebody has to stay here. I'll make up for that. And try to stay in Muzdalifah from Subh Sadiq till sunrise doing your wukuf. And once you start doing your wukuf, if you've done a good wukuf in Arafat, you'll find this wukuf very easy because the sun will not be out yet. Very pleasant, very calm, very soothing, very full of contentment, satisfaction, pleasure, happiness, and you'll feel what you're supposed to feel in each and every Eid morning. What happens in Eid morning? Angels come down. They recite takbir. You not only have is it Eid for you've completed Hajj. What an occasion. You will be saluted by angels. You don't want to be distracted by people going away, horns blowing up, people shouting, hey, yo, hey, come on, let's go. No. Be focused, concentrate. There will be people in your group, in your family, etc.
But then after Hijjah, everybody's going, let's go, it's going to get late. Just that little bit extra. You're near the finish line, just that little bit extra. Yeah, our friend Mofra, he takes it easy. Come the last lap, he'll speed up and beat everybody. Yeah, let everybody leave. You want to stay there and beat everybody to get those barakat du'as accepted. Try to make it till Ishraq. If you can't, then leave before Ishraq, fine. Like I said, it's also fine. Just pray for the wuku's done and you can go. But did you really maximize from your Hajj? Do you really understand what Hajj is about? Make the most of that morning. And if you make the most of that morning, you will naturally feel that today is not only the day of Eid, today I have become a Haji. And you naturally feel when you pelt the shaitan that you've got rid of some evil. You'll naturally feel when you cut off your hair that you are being purified, cleansed, burden is being released. And you'll naturally feel when you go for Tawaf and Ziyarat that you're doing the Ziyarat of Allah, you're going to do the Ziyarat of Allah, and you're in the presence of Allah, whose Rahmah is coming and you're internalizing that Rahmah. You feel fresh, energized, spiritually at a high. And we pray to Allah that it stays high, inshallah. But with that in mind, in focus, with that mindset, it definitely has an impact on your life and it will transform your life. That's why I say you might have paid about 10,000, 11, 12,000 just that one morning, or just being in Arafah, or any single ritual, just one ritual is worth more than those thousands. You're lucky. Yeah? Thousands you can make back. We make it in months. But that opportunity doesn't come back very easily. And it's getting harder, as you know, and more difficult as years pass by. So make the most of it. That's Muzdalifah. You'll finish Muzdalifah. We're quite lucky. Most of us will be in the Mu'asim tent area. You can basically walk it. Sometimes what we do is at night time, we walk it to the border and then we stay at the border, and it's not far, it's about 10-minute walk to the border. We stay inside Muzdalifah at the border till Ishraq, and then when the sun comes out, before it gets too hot, we're in our tent. Yeah, and we normally remember Mustawsaf Rakam Ashara, dispensary number 10, our tents in that area, if they still are in that area. I think they are. Yeah. I had a friend once, not a friend, but I'll be honest, somebody's father here, who, when he wanted the air condition, and those days they didn't have air condition, he'd just go and sit in the dispensary. No idea, yeah? Yeah, he used to sit in the dispensary just for the air conditioning sake. Yeah. Anyway, so that area is where our tents will be. The day of Eid, which is 10th of Dhul-Hijjah, what are the main things that you've got to do on the day of Eid? Firstly, you get to Mina, you pet the shaitan. Majority of the people, they'll be trying to get there early morning, 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock, and it's quite busy. In the Kitabs, it says, Sunnah before Dhuhr. But if you find it difficult, you struggle, you've got elderly, you've got family with you, then you can go after Dhuhr. I've sometimes been before Dhuhr, sometimes after Dhuhr. You have to look at the situation. Yeah, and sometimes we get carried away, like my first Hajj with my kid. I think that's, yeah, can't remember the year. So, you know, when we're with the family, we take it easy. So we've always walked in Hajj. But with the family, we made the intention that we're going to go home. And then suddenly, you know, just before Fajr, we all feel fit, man. We all feel good. Can we walk it? Yeah, let's walk it. I'm sure, yeah. And the small kid go, yeah, Dad, walk it. We started walking, and the kiddo was running. Yeah, he's not a kid anymore. He's come. I told him to come on Friday to get the barakat of this Majlis. Yeah. So he started running, and I think we must have the videos him running and dragging me along with him. And I was pulling him with the belt. Yeah. Mashallah, it was amazing. It was really good, but that doesn't last for long. Before he got to the tent in Mina, he was shattered. And then I think because of that, he became ill in Arafat. Now, yes, it is rewardful to walk, but don't overdo it. Don't get overexcited. And sometimes you can get pulled by the effect of Hajj. And it's amazing. To walk is the best. You get the best feeling. You really feel the Hajj. But you've got to look who's with you. Is it your first time? Do you know the routes? All this you've got to take into consideration. Yeah. So, like I said, we learn as we go along. That's a mistake. And we made. So mistakes can be made very easily that can have an effect on your wukuf Arafah, on the coming responsibilities, manasiks, and rituals. So, coming back, the day of Eid, you look at the situation, who's with you, etc., how exhausted, tired you are, and then you can plan accordingly. If you can't go, I can remember once some of my extended family members were in Hajj, and somebody, they just took out the kitab, and it says in the kitab that you should do your, they were in the tent at 10 o'clock in the morning, 11 o'clock in the morning. And somebody took out the kitab and said, it says in the kitab that you should do your Rami Jamarat, so pelting of the shayateen and the Jamarat before Zohar, and it's Sunnah. Yeah. So he woke everybody up. Wake up, we don't notice. I've just read it in the kitab. Yeah. So out of deep sleep, he woke them all up, 10 o'clock. By the time they left the tent, 11 o'clock. And it's extremely blazing hot at 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock. He took them all walking 2 hours, did the pelting, and came back. You were absolutely shattered. And there's no need for that. There was absolutely no need for that. Yeah, you can't go after Zohar. And if you don't manage, especially British Hajj, if you cannot do it when it's cool, don't do it when it's too hot. Remember that. So on the day of Eid, you can do it up to Maghrib. After Maghrib, it's not preferred, but if some valid reason you do not manage to do it after Maghrib, before Maghrib, then it doesn't matter, inshallah. Try and do it before. Normally, we leave immediately after Asr, and we can easily do it before Maghrib. Is that correct? Immediately after Asr, you go walking, it takes 45 minutes. Now, you've got a 7-tier system. You can easily do your Jamarat, and you've only got one shaitan to belt. You go past the small one and the middle one. You tell them you'll have a good hiding tomorrow, and then you cut the big one. Yeah. Some call it's not recording. Or else I would have said something. Turn it off. You don't need to turn it off. Some of my friends say this is Israel. Some of my friends say that this is America and this is Britain. Yeah? Anyway, so there's many shayateen, yeah, and may Allah protect us. Obviously, we are in a satanic age, yeah, and we are in very difficult times. And we should pray for Hidayah. Allah can change the worst of the worst, yeah. And we should never say, oh, may Allah azab come on them and they all get, and all of them get finished. And no. You have to remember at the end of the day, people follow Musa alayhi salam, Hazrat Isa alayhi salam, and they've gone astray, yes. Yeah, Maghdubi alayhim wa dhalim, fine. But still, there's still some good people in every religion. Yeah. And some dedicated people. And we've got to be just, we've got to, Laysu sawa'a. Allah says, all Jews are not the same. There are amongst them who stay awake all night, and we've seen them praying all night. And if you go Palestine and into Israel, you see them praying all night. They're not very good people. Some people I meet, when we separate, this is what they do. We love you. They genuinely do love you. Yeah, there are idiots everywhere in every religion. And at the moment, idiots are having their time, but they won't have the last laugh, inshallah.
Yeah, sure.
So, coming back. On that day, you will, inshallah, pelt the biggest shaitan, and then it's signposted everywhere. You can't dismiss it. And then you come back to your tent. It's been thoroughly, nicely elaborated and explained to you that you have to arrange your Qurbani. One of the questions that we normally get is, what about the Qurbani that we do at home? So the Qurbani that we normally do year in, year out, alhamdulillah, because Allah has made us wealthy. Yeah, and we're rich and we can afford. So we do that. Yeah, there is a masla that when you're traveling, you don't have to do Qurbani. You might be, most of you will be travelers. So technically, you don't have to. But, you know, 50, 60, 70, 80 pounds Qurbani that we do year in, year out and feed the poor. Personally, I would advise, and personally, I always do it. And my family members, we always do it. Yeah. So let's not look for those loopholes, etc. Do that Qurbani. And that Qurbani, because you're rich, you can do it anywhere in the world. So are we clear about that Qurbani? Now, because we've done Hajj and Umrah, basically Kiran or Tamattu, yeah, we've got to be thankful that, Ya Allah, you let me in one. You let me once again do buy one, get one free. Yeah, but Ya Allah, I want to be thankful, and we do a Qurbani for that. And that's Hajj related. It has to be done in the area of Hajj and in the surroundings of Mina within that time period. And until that is not done, you cannot shave. Inshallah, shave. And if you have any disability, etc., eczema, etc., you can clip and cut. Yeah, your hair. Yeah, and all three have to be done in order, according to the Hanafi madhab. And in other madhabs, there's a bit more flexibility, if al-wala haraj, that they can do three. If it doesn't occur in order is okay. Now, you might feel, wow, is it always the Hanafi madhab with this strict? No. Remember, Shafis, if they touch women, the wuzu goes and etc., how difficult it is for them in Tawaf. So there is ease and I wouldn't say difficulty, but there are challenges in every madhab. Every madhab should be respected. Every madhab comes from Sunnah, inshallah. Yeah? So, coming back, you have to do all three. If you don't manage to do all three in the sequence and order, then you've got to give another dump, sacrifice another animal. Yeah, and the process, we had the details of where you can, through whom, which contact you can sacrifice the animal have been displayed. Any questions on the day of Eid? You go back to your tent and you'll have an Eid there, bottle of drink, bottle of water, maybe an apple and a biscuit. Then you remember your biryani. Yeah? Any question? Just a second. If you want to perform ghusl, you can, like in Arafat, it is sunnah to do ghusl with plain water, without any soap. Don't, rub your skin heavily, thoroughly, just to avoid plugging out any hair. But you can have a ghusl. Obviously, you can use shampoo, you can't use soap. So, yeah, obviously, there's no Eid namaz for Hajj. Yeah. So you still have to give Eid to kids at home, yeah? Eid. Yes.
Yeah, just on that note, what Mawlana mentioned was very important, that when we go into religious environments, we see different things happening in front of us. Okay. Now, sometimes they're probably doing it out of jahalat and ignorance, but other times they might be doing it out of a position of knowledge. It's just that we're not aware of that knowledge. So, like Mawlana mentioned, that to get, because you go on Hajj and you see, oh, look at him, he's doing this, look at him, he's doing that. That's not generally, it's not a good way to be. Okay, unless you're maybe an alim that's 100% sure. Okay, generally kind of leave. The reason I'm mentioning is because, like for example, on Jamarat on the first day, you notice that the Saudi government over the last few years, some say because of the rush, other people say just because they perhaps don't care. Whatever the reason is, they've started to utilize minority opinions in fiqh, okay, which make things easier, which is fine. Okay, we do things the way we've been taught as far as we can. Okay, so you'll find people actually going to pelt the big shaitan before Zawal on the first day. Okay, so if you go up to them and say, your job is not to make everybody a Hanafi, they're a Hanafi, yeah. Majority of them might probably be Hanafis, but that's a different story. So just soak it all in. If there's an alim there, the strange thing is for me, sometimes even in the Hanafi madhab, sometimes you can have more than one answer, and the answer that you think is the wrong answer might actually be an answer. Okay, so that's a good mindset to have when you're there, inshallah. And inshallah, you'll have good group leaders this time. You'll have people with knowledge, and you can gain advice of them if need be. Jimala.
So these are some technical issues, and we just go, it flies over you, just let it fly away. Don't worry about it. Now, coming back to the days of Hajj. So the day of Eid is the third day of Hajj. Yeah. And that's the day where these three things have to be completed and executed, inshallah. Once these three are done, you'll be most probably staying in Mina. Some people go to Makkah. The time has arrived for the fard of Hajj to be completed. And what is the main fard? Tawaf is Ziyarah. Now, Tawaf is Ziyarah, time starts on the 10th morning all the way till the 13th. You can even from Muzdalifah go to Makkah and do your Tawaf first. There's no order, there's no position for Tawaf. It has to be done after. It can be done before the three main responsibilities. But the sunnah of the Prophet ﷺ is to do it after you've done the three, which is pelting and sacrifice and shaving the hair. Coming back into your normal, nice clothing and try and have a good pair of clothes, because it will be Eid day as well. Yeah, that you can come into, and you can feel that, mashallah, now you're fresh, you've been clean, inshallah, purified, and inshallah, like in Jannah, we will have inshallah good clothing. And then when you go for Tawaf after those three things, then you will actually feel the ziyarah, that now you've come cleaned, fresh, purified, coming to Allah, and inshallah, coming close to Allah, and in the akhirah, you will have the opportunity of the ziyarah of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. One of the most sweetest tawafs is tawaf ziyarah. Yeah, it might be the one that you have the most massage, you get squeezed, and might take long, but it's all part of the fun and the enjoyment. If you're in that state where you're just remembering Allah, you won't notice neither the time, nor the rush, nor the hugs, nor the squeeze, nor the sweating around you. If you focus on that aspect. Yeah. And that basically that sums up life. In life we sing. Yeah. And one of my ustads, Sheikh Mawlana used to say, okay, Jahannam is there, not like for the mu'mineen as adab, but it's a mechanism of purity. So it's like a child. Mom says, go play, make sandcastles, but don't get yourself dirty. But the child will come back dirty. So the mom might even, give him one, slap the bottom. I told you not to. Yeah, but anyway, let me put you in the shower and scrub some soap on you and start crying, the baby, etc. But the baby has to go through that process to become clean. Similarly, for the mu'mineen, Allah loves us. But to enter into Jannah, you have to become clean. And whatever we suffer in the hereafter, it will just be like the kids suffering at the hands of the loving mother. It will be a process of cleanliness, of purification. After that, every mu'min will enter into Jannah. And the goal in Jannah is what's Jannah if it's without the ziyarat of Allah? Yeah, it's the ziyarat of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and that's what Tawaf ziyarah is about. All the struggle that we went through is like a purification process. Now, inshallah, we're clean, free from sins. We have a new chapter in life, and now we're capable, inshallah, of entering Jannah and having the ziyarah of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. We cannot come close to Allah or attend his assembly or see Allah without being pure. If anybody goes in tramps clothes to Buckingham Palace, would they let him in? So that they all make sense when you look at it. And it's all part of this process. And once you've met Allah, once you've seen Allah, you just feel different. And you're satisfied. And then life goes on. And then you come back on earth. Basically, you go back to your country, and then you keep that focus. Remaining life, yeah, when you make mistakes, we all make mistakes. We all sin. If we wouldn't sin, Allah would bring about other people who would sin. We all sin. But we know Tawbah is there for us, Istighfar is there for us. And when life ends with Kalima, and inshallah we will enter into Jannah. That's what your next life after Hajj is supposed to be about, inshallah. So may Allah give us that understanding, give us that strength, give us that vision, and may Allah commit us to that in principle, in meaning, and as an aim and objective in our life, inshallah. So the 10th of Dhul-Hijjah is done. 11th of Dhul-Hijjah, on that day, you've got to pelt all three shaitans, and the timing of pelting will start when? After Zawal, Zohar beginning time. It's preferable to do it, sunnah to do it before Maghrib. For some reason you can't, then don't worry. And this time you will be pelting the small, the middle, and make progress slowly, and then the big shaitan. Yeah, and Fazal Bhai has explained to you how to pelt the shaitan. Normally, if you're coming from Mina, then but now the system is very different. So you might not land like I'm saying. But normally, if you're coming from Mina, then everybody will come here and they say, oh, and they want to do it quickly. It's advisable you take the family, you go past this minaret, this Jamra, yeah, over here. And there's a big distance between them both. Yeah. So the flow will be coming that way. If you just settle over here, take out, if it's very busy, sometimes these days it's not busy at all. Yeah. And then you take out your pebble, and then men can go first. If it's not busy, you can even take the women, but just be careful, cautious, like Fadl Bhai says. Yeah, when we go to Aqsa, anybody doesn't listen, we say, whoa, watch, observe, and wait. Whoa. Anyway, Mawlana knows well. Yeah, people think we're just shouting at them. Anyway, so from here, when you go, everybody's come from that side. This side will be empty, and you can do your running. Well, once you've done one, and you have another one to be done after, then you come back, you face Qibla, and you make dua. You go to the second one, same. Go pass it, organize yourself, go and do 7 times, make sure it falls in. If you see any of them coming out, bouncing back from here out, then make sure you replace it with one that falls in. 7 have to fall in. You don't necessarily have to hit the white board. Yeah? It's the big screen, like the home screens are increasing. Shaitan getting bigger and fatter. Yeah, so you don't necessarily have to hit this ball. You have to go inside, and then it goes all the way down to the exact same location where Hazrat Ibrahim, when Shaitan tried to tempt him away from the sacrifice, which Allah asked him to do, he pelted it. So Shaitan, if he tries with Anbiyas, he tried with us as well. And sometimes it's easy, if you've got the knowledge, etc. And it's easy, no matter how strong Shaitan. In the Kaida Shaitan kana dha'ifa. At the end of the day, Shaitan is weak. You can even, with a pebble, you can get rid of it. Like Hazrat Dawood got rid of Jalut with a pebble. Yeah. And may Allah give that strength and power and kudra in the pebbles and the stones that the Palestinians throw and have, inshallah. Coming back. After this one, you've got another one. Big one to pelt. So after this one, you make dua. Once you've done the big shaitan, there is no Jamra to Rajam and to pelt. You don't need to make dua. And these are the opportunities to make dua. Do tawbah, do istighfar. And like I said, in Gujarati we say, Japine na behe. Shaitan will never Japine na behe. He'll always keep on trying. So that's why, even after pelting him once, he'll try again. He tried it 3 times in Hazrat Ibrahim alayhi salatu. Yeah. So in life, you will always get that. His waswas and thoughts, and he'll keep on trying. But you've got to keep on, like you did. Keep on doing dua, pray, do istighfar. Yeah, and ask Allah to protect you from shaitan. Yeah, and inshallah, your life will be safe. Yeah, 1, 2, 3. On the first, on the 11th, you do all 3. And on the 12th, you do all three. Now, on the 12th, for 97-8% of the Hajj, it will be the last day. If somebody wants to stay for the 13th as well, you can. A majority leave. On the last day, which is the 12th, you will be, after Zuhr, you will be doing all three again. And imagine 2 to 3 million people. Some of them want to catch flights in the evening. They actually do. And some of them want to go to Medina. And some of them are locals and they just want to go home, etc. Or they want to go and do their Tawaf Wida. So everybody will be in a rush. And that is the time where all the fatal accidents and incidents happen. You will be given a time by your group management that you go at 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock. It is necessary, important, and lazim that you follow those instructions. Even if Mina becomes empty and tents are empty, you still wait for that time and go down. Yeah. Once again, it's sunnah to get it done before Maghrib, but if you don't get it done before Maghrib, you don't need to worry. And even after Maghrib, if you're still in Mina, it doesn't become further upon you to stay for another day. Correct? Yes? Then so many people say, you have to before Maghrib. If you don't leave before Maghrib, you have to stay another day. You don't have to. So on the last day, and then don't forget, on the last day, when you go to the Jamarat, they will not let you take your rucksacks, your luggage, etc. So you've got to arrange for your group leader, he takes that, or somebody takes that, or you just, keep it light. On the last day, when all three are completed, then inshallah you will go to Makkah and you will have the final obligation of doing Tawaf Wida. Tawaf Wida just before you leave Makkah to go home, which is wajib, which has to be done, unless any of our women folks start their period, they don't have to do it. So we'll talk about Tawaf Wida, which is the final, inshallah, ritual and final manasik of Hajj after Mufti Saab, inshallah.
Just before Mawlana goes on to Tawaf Wida, so Tawaf Ziyara, yeah, everybody got Tawaf Ziyara. During the 11th, 12th, 13th, what Mawlana was mentioning before about maximizing your time there, yes. So if you have a hotel in Azizia or Makkah, it's tempting to just want to, plant your bistara and not go back to Mina. Remember, spending at least the nights in Mina, okay, at least the nights in Mina is the sunnah, okay. What does ziyarah mean in Arabic? What's ziyarah? Visit, yeah. One of the reasons why the ulama write that Tawaf Ziyara is called Ziyara, did I mention this last year? Yeah. Is because you do Ziyara, but you visit it and you get back to Mina. Okay. You don't go to your hotel and decide staying there for the next couple of days, or your hotel in Azizia, yeah. So just bear that in mind, okay. And if you're obviously during the day, some people may wish to go to their hotel rooms, get freshened up, get restocked, that's fine. But try to at least spend the majority of the nights back in Mina at a bare minimum where possible, inshallah.
Especially when you do it, when Jannah will be vast when we do the ziyarah of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and everybody will be there. And when we're doing Tawaf Ziyarah, and when we go around the Kaaba, then you should always remember, that basically on the left-hand side, you've got the Kaaba. On the right-hand side, you've got the whole world. Yeah? When you come approximately, I can't remember exactly which one which, so I'll put it on my phone. So basically, when you're standing here in front of Hajar Aswad, so if this is Hajar Aswad, on the right-hand side, you've got India, Thailand, Philippines, you move along, you've got Pakistan, this is Hajar Aswad. Yeah, so Hajar Aswad is over here, yes. So from Hajar Aswad, you've got all these countries, India, Thailand, Philippines, you come across over here, Pakistan, China, Emirates, China, Pakistan, Kuwait, Uzbekistan. When you come to this corner, you've got Iraq, Russia, you've got Syria, Georgia, yeah. And then roughly when you come to here, you've got UK, Canada. So basically, as you go around, on the right-hand side, you've got all these countries. Yeah, you remember them all as well. Ya Allah, today is a day of mercy and rahmah. Ya Allah, have maghfirah for everybody, everywhere. All the mu'min and all the ummah. And everything revolves around Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Yeah, and I'll give this map to the brothers to put on the slide, inshallah. And I'll do that now before I forget. I'll send it to Sohail so he can just forward it. And we'll put it in there. So that's what ziyarah for yourself every day on your right hand side. The whole world, the world now is a village. Yeah, and we can easily comprehend it in our minds. Yeah, and that's what technology has given us today. A better understanding of the world, and that infuses our enjoyment in our ibadah. And that's why I normally say to people, say, oh, they go do technology and science, they go do. If you can't understand, well, we should be thinking about the heavens and the horizon, and Allah encourages us to do all that. So there's so much in Hajj, and it's not just about this world; it's about the hereafter as well. And Bayt Ma'mur and Arsh and Kursi, and connecting with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And we start with Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alamin, all the universes which we can't even comprehend. Labbaik in Labbaik Lakal Mulk. Not only this world, Lakal Mulk. Yeah, for you is the whole of the million. So anyway, coming back to Tawaf Ziyarah, once you've done your Tawaf Ziyarah, then you've got Tawaf Wida. And you don't have to just think Tawaf Ziyarah, Tawaf that way. In Tawaf Wida as well. In every Tawaf, you take it as serious as your Tawaf Ziyarah. Yeah, and Tawaf Wida is wajib, you have to do it. So for men folk, if you don't manage to do it, you've got to delay your flight to do it. Yeah, and if after you've done your Tawaf Ziyarah, you do a Nafal Tawaf, and then for some reason you can't do Tawaf Wida, you just suddenly have to leave, then that Nafal will automatically be transferred into your and changed into your Tawaf Wida. So whenever you get a chance, do Tawaf, and then also do Tawaf Wida, and it's better. Don't think that, oh, well, I did Tawaf, but I'm not going to bother. No. If you've got the time and you plan it that way, then you do Tawaf with that feeling of farewell. You're leaving, you're going home now. You're going to miss the Kaaba, you're going to miss etc. But then you tell yourself, okay, Allah is everywhere. Allah, you go, you're not going away from Kaaba, you're taking Kaaba in your heart. You're taking Hajj with you. You're not going to walk on this earth as a Hajj. Yeah, and Hajj means to intend, to make an intention of going towards Allah. And life is now going to be a progress towards Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And welcome back to Bonnie Bowles.
One of the brothers was asking the Tawaf Wida is there Safa Marwa Sa'i. So you can clarify that only Tawaf Safa Marwa Sa'i is only Tawaf Jarat and Umrah Tawaf. That's it.
Yeah. Anything that's missing. So basically today we got around our Hajj. Yeah. And then maybe we have time to start Mali.
Yeah. One of the brothers was asking that is there Safa Marwa Sa'i after Tawaf Wida? No. There's only Safa Marwa Sa'i in Tawaf Jarat, and when you're performing the Umrah Tawaf, after that you but after any other Tawaf, there's no Safa Marwa Sa'i. And after every Tawaf you do, whether it's Nafil Tawaf or whether it's Tawaf Wida, you still have to pray the 2 rakat namaz, which is wajib. But again, not between Fajr and Ishraq, and not between Asr and Maghrib. And you can pray anywhere in the Haram.
Look at this age of technology. Yeah, I'm just setting there, it's already on the screen. And I'm a very strong believer. We should use technology for our benefit and for educational purpose, etc. They did allow me to put a projector on the block of Kaaba. We actually do that in Masjid al-Aqsa. They're very flexible, and they let us have a screen inside the masjid.
What Fazil Mama was saying about Sa'i, if you do Hajj Qiran, you have the option of doing your sa'i for Hajj when you do your tawaf before you go for Hajj, before Hajj starts, okay? So then that means when it comes to tawaf ziyarah, you don't need to do it then, okay? Technically, as a tamattu haji, you also have that option. You could do a nafal tawaf before Hajj starts and do your sa'i. But they say for a mutamatte, it's better, it's preferred for you to delay your sa'i, from the ladies.
Have you got any questions?
Any questions from the sisters? No, mashallah. Sisters know everything. They don't need.
That is a question.
Nobody's asking that. Yes.
Sorry, any academic.
We talked about Quran Hajj.
Shall we just repeat? So we're going to repeat about Tawaf Qudum, and I think we'll repeat what Mufti Saab said as well. Yeah. About Sa'i, you've got to do one Sa'i, you can do it before going to Hajj. And similarly, if there's any other aspect of Hajj that you're not clear, yeah, and if you're shy, you can say, Mawlana, my friend wasn't clear about this. And we'll understand what you mean.
My friend asked
Yeah.
this.
Like I said, some of my friends say this is that and this is that.
Do not hesitate, brothers, or
Yeah.
going Zoni, from Zubi Fustaho, Futo, Besam, Bezida.
Yeah.
Ask him.
बेशरम होकर मत पूछना लेकिन पूछ so first say what you were saying and then the next question.
He said, so obviously because we've done over the 4 days, when we first came to Makkah for the first time, we did Tawaf, we did our Umrah, okay? So at that point, your niyyat would have been Tamattu Hajj, right? Okay, everybody understands that, isn't it? For those who made niyyat for Hajj Qira'ah, you have the option, or it's actually beneficial to perform the sa'i of Hajj straight after your Umrah or just before Hajj. Okay, just before Hajj. Now, in order to perform sa'i, you cannot perform sa'i on its own. You can't just go and perform sa'i. It has to have a tawaf beforehand. So that tawaf is known as Tawaf al-Qudum. Okay, so I'll give you our example. In 2022, we performed Ifrad Hajj. Okay, so when we arrived in Makkah, and these are still remember the words Mufti Saab said to Israel, you know what, we don't feel comfortable coming to Makkah and not doing anything. We can't just not do anything. These are your words, right? So he said, I tell you what, let's just go and perform Tawaf and let's just do our sa'i. So we did that. So we did Tawaf Qudum, and so when you're doing Tawaf Qudum and when there's going to be sa'i, remember the rules what Mama said in terms of if you're wearing your ihram, then you've got your istilam, istiba, and ramal as well. Those things are very important because when you're performing, well, if you don't, then it's not really an issue, but it's mustahab to do that when you're doing the sa'i. So you have two options. And it's an advantage sometimes if you feel energized, if you feel full of energy and you're not tired and you feel fresh, then it's sometimes easier for you to just get the sa'i of Hajj done before Hajj. So when you're doing Tawaf Ziyarat later on, you'll be sitting there chilling and everybody will be walking towards sa'i to walk another 2.5 miles, whereas you will have done it. Okay, so that's another advantage as well. One, it's advice, so it's mustahab, it's rewarding. And two, it's going to give you save you a lot of time and energy as well. So it'll give you time to go back to Mina if you want to, not your hotels, but to Mina. So does that make sense with regards to Tawaf Qudum and the sa'i of Hajj? 100%? That's everything. Now, whilst we've got a little bit of time, a lot of you are asking questions with regard to what do I need in terms of days of Hajj, especially Muzdalifah, Arafat, and the days after that. So until the first 2-3 days, a lot of you have been asking, do we need sleeping bags? The question I asked everybody, would you sleep in a sleeping bag in 33 degrees? Would you? Would you jump into a sleeping bag when it's 33 degrees? I wouldn't. So if you are going to take a sleeping bag, take a thin one so you can sleep on top of it, not inside it, okay? If you don't want to carry that kind of weight, then you could carry a sleeping mat. That's something I recommend to everybody. We don't even use sleeping mats. We just sleep either on our ihram or we just sleep on a chattar, as we say, or the HAJJ mat.
Duvet cover.
Yeah.
Duvet cover, I mentioned.
Or a duvet cover as well. I mean, I don't want to walk around with the floor of duvet cover.
It's very, very, cotton.
But yeah, a sleeping mat is fine. Do not carry. I saw a brother in 2022 brought a blow-up mattress in Arafat. It was hilarious. Well, we popped it. So yeah, we're mischievous. When it comes to Arafat, we just Muzdalifah, Mina, we usually joke around because just to bring the the spirit up and get the Hajj charged up and the feel. But you feel at home that way because when you got everybody's serious, everybody's stressed out. So we have to break the ice a little bit. So yeah, you'll have your rucksacks. You don't have to carry an 80-liter rucksack. That's another joke we had as well. We had a brother carrying an 80-liter rucksack. I said, my wife's going to carry this. I said, what, your wife going to carry you inside that rucksack? Is that big? So you don't have to have a big rucksack, only a small rucksack, 25 to there. You're going to have your medications if you take any medications. Speaking of medications, anybody who's a diabetic and needs to carry the insulin pens with them, you could get the 20-hour cooler packs as well. Don't worry, there's ice canisters. There's a lot of ice and cooler boxes available in Mina and in Muzdalifah, so don't have to worry about your medication. If you're on prescribed medication or controlled medication, just carry it with you in your rucksacks. So the rucksacks are the most useful when you're in Mina, and then you're going to go to Arafat the next day, and then camping in Muzdalifah and coming back the next day, after which you'll be in your camps again in Mina anyway. So rucksack, very, very important. Sleeping mat, very, very important. Your medication, your power banks. Power supply in Mina is very restricted. Although there's a lot more sockets nowadays, a lot more than what it was a few years ago, it's still going to be high demand. So we normally carry an extension lead with us, and definitely power bank. It's one of the top things on our list nowadays, a power bank. Yes, that's our charging facility. So do you know what? When you're in Mina, when you have that, everybody comes to you, please, so can we please? Yeah, come. So when you've got power in Mina, you become very, very popular very, very quickly. So very important to have a setup like that. So if you look at it, all we've got is 2 extenders, and the amount of Hajj come towards us and say, okay, can we get some power? I said, okay, go get us a paratha and you can have some power. That's how you make relationships and friendships when you're in Mina. So you see box underneath the power supply there, that's full of pot noodles. So anybody comes, gets charged and we get a pot noodle as well. So
1 second. Can you see all the wires tangled? Yeah. See, now look at Allah Pak's mercy and rahmat. See the wires in your body, your veins, your arteries. I mentioned this one of the bayans. 60,000 miles worth of wiring sitting you right now. Did you ever wake up one morning and look like that? Subhanallah, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's rahmat, mercy. So here, stay ihram.
Yes, very, very important is that.
Especially for the fellas, the garam fellas.
Yeah.
When you're home, you want to get spiritually, electrically charged.
Yes, 100%. 100%. Remember, we take our phones with us not because we want to communicate with the world and show where we're at. It's simply for our GPS devices. We simply use our devices simply to communicate. For us, when we're in Hajj, there is no social aspects of it. The time we have, the seriousness of it, and the focus on the Hajj, we use that as communication platforms. So it's very important there. So yeah, power banks, extension leads, you could share it between yourselves. It'll be very beneficial to others. Spare ihram, very, very important. Sometimes you might think, oh, I don't want to be carrying the top and the bottom. It's fine. Just keep the top one as it is, but keep a spare bottom part. We always do that because you just don't know. You go to a bathroom, it's been soiled, it's impure, it's not very clean. And the last thing you want is to get any impurity in your garments. And it's very important to maintain cleanliness like that as well. So carry the bottom part. We always say that to everybody. First of all, I said Vaseline is the first thing on our list. Now, a lot of brothers use Vaseline. A lot of them use the more fancy stuff like lanacane. Lanacane, anybody heard of lanacane? Yeah, it's an anti-shaving cream, basically. Not shaving, shaping. So when you're a big person like me, when two parts in the heat, when the skin comes in contact, because of friction, it's going to scald your skin. And because it's so hot, you'll find that sooner or later your skin starts peeling off, and it's very, very painful. You can go through the pain, but it just becomes very, very uncomfortable, especially when you know you're going to have to walk so much. It's very, very important to have what we call lubrication. So you've got Vaseline, which is the simplest one, or you've got lanacane as well. Lanacane yellow is a preventative, and Lanacane red is the one if you have got shaving, and it'll give you, some anesthetic properties in there as well. So those things are very important. Have a look at them. I think we put Lanacane on there. Always, have you got Lanacane on there? Just show them what it looks like. It should be on your slides.
Caniston cream.
A caniston cream. Oh yeah, pseudo creme. That's fine as well. But sometimes pseudo creme becomes greasy and a bit messy, so you might not want to use that. But it's each to their own. Whatever you're comfortable with. So very, very important. Another very important one for us, because we walk, we carry electrolytes with us, because you'll be sweating. You'll be sweating a lot, and you don't drink enough water to compensate for the amount you sweat. So your body's going to automatically go into dehydration mode, and with sweat, you lose a lot of salt. When you lose your body's salt, you get cramp. Cramp is going to be very, very, very quick. So you'll be walking, you'll be lying down. Within half an hour, 45 minutes, you had to lie down, you wake up, or you start walking again, your legs just will not move. Your calves will cramp. Your groins and your thighs will cramp very, very easily, and that'll really put you off. So plenty of fluids and electrolytes. So these salt tablets, you can get them online. High5, High6, and all these different types. Fancy ones you can get. Highly recommended, especially the brothers who are intending on walking. We definitely recommend electrolytes, vitamin tablets,
Lemon drinks, Laban.
lemon drinks, citrus. Any kind of citrus is very important. Very important to have citrus and keep your hydration level up.
Do they sell iron brew?
Mufti Saab carries iron brew. It goes everywhere. Imagine we introduce iron brew to Mina. I'll send you some pictures later on, actually. Always has got to be, not put them on yet. But yeah, iron brew, it's our celebratory drink. So when Hajj is over, when our Tawaf and Ziyarah has been done, we go back to the hotel and we'll have our iron brew. And that's the Lanacane ointment if anybody wants to buy it. It's a little bit more expensive compared to Vaseline. For me, Vaseline is the best, but sometimes you just want to be fancy, don't you? And you go for the more extravagant stuff like that. Medication, very, very important. All the different kind of medications that you need. These are the most essential things that you probably need with you when you're walking. Anything else is optional. Umbrella, very handy. Very, very handy, especially again if you're going to be walking. Because they'll shade yourself from the sun. If we get delayed getting away, if there's a roadblock, if the routes have been changed, we have to navigate and go to another route. At that point, like I said the other day, 9, 10 o'clock, it gets extremely, extremely hot. By that time, if you're not used to walking, you'll be getting very tired as well. If you want to see what it looks like, always 130-mile walk. 130-mile walk. Yeah, Akram.
Did you send me that?
You said I'm quite fat and I can't walk anymore. I'll show you what I look like after 130 miles.
The one, this one. This one.
All the umbrellas from Makkah.
There you go.
My
It's what it looks like after 150 miles. It's absolutely wrapped.
Was there to the right.
Yeah.
When that woman seen you.
So at this point, when we were walking through Makkah, there was blood all over us. And people, police and everybody just stopped there staring at us because they're not used to seeing people walking around with bloodied ihrams around Makkah. And this is literally around the corner from Haram. We're walking back to our hotel, having done around 50 Qurbanis and having already walked close to 70 miles. After that, we walked another 60 miles in 45, 50 degrees heat, having the responsibility of doing Qurbani of 50 other lads, ringing them that we've done your Qurbani. When I was the last one, could you bring my Qurbani with you?
Just before that, it just looks like he's got two gun belts on blood.
So many times by the police. Where are you going? What are you doing? And then they actually hug you. Saying these guys have just done their Hajj, and it's a very good sign because they're not used to seeing that anymore. You see,
sensitive. No, we won't show that.
it's like Qurbani. You want to see how Qurbani is done? We'll show you.
Hey, just tell her that if no one wants to see. That's what it is. No, it's a video.
Everybody is doing this.
Shall I play it?
Bismillah, Allahu Akbar.
If anyone doesn't want to look, don't look.
You don't have to look. Bismillah, Allahu Akbar.
Is that you or me?
That was me. You did the one before. You told me not to.
Right, just before that happens, the Fazl's Bhai is going to give you some tips, verbal tips, not financial tips. All right, some more. Just before we finish, Tomorrow we're gonna go to Medina Munawwara, inshallah. What night is it? Thursday night. From now, start reading more Durood Sharif and look forward to going to Medina tomorrow, inshallah. Read as much Durood Sharif as possible every Friday, especially in this day and age, Surah Al-Kahf, inshallah. And may Allah make it easy and take you safely to Medina al-Munawwara before or after Hajj, inshallah. And see, Jazakumullah khair. So tomorrow we will do Medina, and any questions, etc., written questions, we'll go through it. And then Saturday, we're going to the demonstration in London. Who's coming? Inshallah, please, we need some brothers to come. The details are on the notice board. Always the coach gets full. This time people are backing off. We'll near the final time, yeah? We need people to come. And inshallah, I'm going as well. We'll have Kirat, Nas, Nazam, Takbir. We have vibrant atmosphere, inshallah, in the home. We'll have tea, coffee, cakes, and food as well. So please, if you have fun, you can also sponsor it. For students, it's only £20, £25 for others. Then that means it's making a big difference. Inshallah.